Anzu's life of playing video games, eating chocolate, and playing with her cat is turned upside down when a magical being named Riri puts her into a real-life dating simulation. To get her to concentrate, he takes away her 3 greatest joys in life. To Anzu's horror, all of her video games have been turned into eel jerky, all of her chocolates have vanished, and her cat has gone missing. He also arranges for his father's departure from the country, leaving her alone in the house. She goes around town looking for chocolates and sweets, but they are all sold out. She refuses to play Riri's game and vows not to fall in love with any of the boys he throws her way. She meets the first boy, Tsukasa, after she bumps into him and causes him to drop and break his phone. She apologizes and flees in a panic. The next day, Riri explains that they can freely converse because, thanks to his magic, no one will notice. Anzu runs into Kazuki and his friend at the station and sees him reject another girl's love letter. As a result, she believes Kazuki is arrogant and resolves not to fall for him. She tells her friend Saki about her new living situation. Saki then mentions that Kazuki is very popular with the girls because of his cool and unapproachable demeanor. Anzu lies motionless on the sofa, with nothing to do. She is forced to flee the house when she notices a cockroach flying towards her. Unable to return home, she seeks refuge in a nearby park, but it begins to rain. She runs into Kazuki again as she laments her situation. He offers Anzu his umbrella, but she declines, fearing a romantic situation. He becomes irritated and drags her back to his house while sharing an umbrella. Anzu feels self-conscious about being in the house of a lonely boy. When he learns about the cockroach, he becomes amused and offers to kill it for her. The pair return to her house, where she ends up football charging him after being spooked. As she ends up on top of him, the situation becomes romantic. When the cockroach appears, their moment is cut short, and Kazuki kills it after a few frantic moments. Kazuki is trapped inside her house due to a typhoon orchestrated by Riri. She decides to cook dinner for them, but when Riri teases her about how this is a good opportunity to show off her cooking skills, she instead serves cup noodles. She invites Kazuki to stay the night, realizing that resistance is futile. She later dresses in the ugliest clothes she can find in order to avoid romantic interactions. After Anzu wins 4 straight games of Reversi, Kazuki challenges her to play Game of Life, with the loser forced to prepare their lunch for the next day. He eventually wins, but Anzu accepts his offer to assist her in preparing their bento boxes. Kazuki is an excellent chef thanks to his experience working part-time at a bar. Anzu's egg rolls, on the other hand, burn. While they clean up, Anzu has a change of heart about Kazuki, and feels relaxed around him. Riri, frustrated that none of his plans worked, puts Anzu to sleep, allowing Kazuki to sit by her side. He says he hasn't had so much fun in a long time. Anzu wakes up embarrassed because she spent the entire night sleeping on Kazuki's lap. He thanks her for allowing him to spend the night and departs. But he soon returns, explaining that his entire apartment had flooded. He misses school and borrows Anzu's phone to notify his teacher. While he looks for a new place to live, Anzu goes to school and considers telling Saki about her current situation. She gets a call from Kazuki, who has a new phone and wants to meet her after school. She feels bad about being the cause of his phone breaking, but she mostly blames Riri. Concerned for Kazuki's well-being, a teacher attempts to contact him. Rina and Yukika, 2 girls, interject and put the phone on speaker, only to hear Anzu's voice instead. Meanwhile, Kazuki is bothered by the fact that he is the center of attention inside a cafe. Anzu finally appears, but he is disappointed to see Rina and Yukika accompanying her. He drags Anzu out and flees, not wanting to deal with them. She apologizes for making him uncomfortable, but Kazuki explains that he simply does not want to date right now. He is grateful to Anzu because she has never bothered him in any way, and he says he feels at ease around her. He then receives a call informing him that no apartments are available. He asks if he can stay at Anzu's house for a month without a place to stay and offers to help with household chores in exchange. Still feeling bad about breaking his phone, Anzu agrees but realizes it was all part of Riri's plan. The next morning, she answers the door to find Hunta, a tall man who claims to be her childhood friend, standing there. Kazuki appears from behind the closed door, signaling the start of Anzu's love triangle. Anzu quickly explains why Kazuki is staying at her house and dashes inside to retrieve her belongings. Kazuki and Hunta assess each other, knowing they are rivals. Anzu confronts Riri about his meddling, assuming that he has brainwashed him in some way. He tells her that he has had a crush on her since middle school and that all she has to do is accept his feelings for her. They come across Saki, whose memories are also thought to have been tampered with. Anzu is relieved that Hunta appears to be easy to get along with as the 3 walk to school together. Rina and Yukika call her out behind the school building to intimidate her after seeing her having lunch with Kazuki. Rina asks Anzu to set them up because she insists they are just friends. She refuses because she knows Kazuki isn't interested in dating and she doesn't want to force a friend to do so. Kazuki and Hunta overhear her and are moved by her kindness. Rina and Yukika start to get noisier, but then a strange girl appears and makes backhanded compliments, forcing the 2 to leave. Anzu examines it closely and realizes it is Riri. Riri invites Hunta and Kazuki to a dinner party at Anzu's house. Anzu tries to make herself as unattractive as possible, but Riri does everything she can to prevent this, causing her to run into Kazuki. Hunta feels threatened by Kazuki's numerous positive points, and laments the fact that he is no match for him. Riri attempts to spice things up by suggesting that Kazuki stay at Anzu's house for a longer period of time, but he declines to impose any further. She insists on Hunta staying instead, prompting Anzu to try to silence her. She grabs Riri's wand and drags her out to get ice cream together, but her wand falls into dog poop, preventing her from using magic. In the meantime, Kazuki assures Hunta that he has no intention of dating Anzu. Anzu's friends are jealous of her sudden close relationship with Kazuki and comment on how she is now surrounded by hot guys. Anzu falls asleep as soon as she arrives home after a long day. A loud noise wakes her up, and thinking it's Riri stealing her belongings again, she storms into his mother's room, only to find an underwear thief. She chases him out of the house, irrationally angry that he ignored her underwear and went straight for her mother's. Hunta, who was supposed to drop off some food, helps catch the thief. Hunta receives a call from his mother after handing him over to the police, instructing him to stay at Anzu's house out of concern for her safety. Anzu is horrified because falling in love is now easier than ever. As Hunta and Kazuki move into Anzu's house, everything is going according to Riri's plan. The next day, Kazuki invites Anzu out to go shopping, but she is irritated to discover that all of her clothes have cat prints on them, and she has no appropriate outfits for going out. Riri is able to give Anzu a dramatic makeover, transforming her rough exterior into a conventional beauty. Kazuki is taken aback by her new appearance, which causes Anzu to feel self-conscious. Anzu discovers at the mall that Kazuki frequently wears hats to avoid drawing attention to himself, but this has little effect. After a few hours, Anzu chooses a dress, remarking that it is her first piece of clothing without a cat on it. Anzu excuses herself from Kazuki to use the restroom. He begins to feel uneasy as a result of all the stares he seems to attract. A panic attack ensues, but Anzu arrives just in time to calm him down. She expresses gratitude to Kazuki for inviting her out, and the two return home to watch a scary movie with Hunta. Anzu is content with the status quo, and has no plans to jeopardize the friendship she has built. Anzu, on the other hand, rushes to school the next day after waking up late. Riri's plan is foiled when a car collides with her, revealing a third man intended for her. After the accident, Anzu is escorted to school by the haughty Kogane and his attendant, Tsuchiya. Anzu is offended by Kogane's egocentric behavior, and is not surprised that he is referred to as the prince at school. Kogane invites her out a few days later. He is disgusted by her plain appearance, and drags her to a high-end boutique to have her dressed in more flashy attire. Kogane admits that he assumed Anzu staged the accident in order for her to go on a date with him. She storms off, stating that she has no interest in him. Kogane is perplexed that a girl could possibly resist his charms, which is heightened when she returns the dress she wore the day before. Hunta's kindness later refreshes Anzu, providing a welcome change of pace. That's it for part 1. Subscribe for part 2.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.